If you are married or living in a de facto relationship with a person, legally you are a couple. But Centrelink has different rules and sees a spouse or a partner differently than the legal system in Australia. For Social Security purposes, the fact whether you are or not in a relationship is so much more complex. You really need to understand the rules and see what applies or does not apply to you, because at the end of the day, the age pension, disability support pension, or any other Social Security benefit is based on your family dynamics. Do you or don't you have a partner? Are you or aren't you in a relationship? This is the very first question Centrelink will ask to determine how to calculate your benefit as a single person or as a member of a couple. Well, so let's discuss this in details when a spouse is not a spouse for Centrelink purposes. My name is Katherine Isbrandt from About Retirement. I'm certified financial planner and you are watching About Retirement TV, the place to learn all you need to know if you are a few years away from your planned retirement, or if you have already retired and you wish to improve your financial outcomes, your income, value of your assets, government benefits, and so much more. I have been talking about age pension for a long time on this channel. There is a whole playlist dedicated to retirement and maximizing age pension. This is what I do daily for my clients in my practice: maximizing government benefits, setting up income streams that provide security for life while allowing for growth of your estate as well as tax management. But today we are talking about age pension and any other Centrelink benefit from social context of a family life and your relationship or lack of it as described for Social Security assessment. In the eyes of the law, you are a couple living in a de facto relationship if you live together, not necessarily under the same roof, but very often this is the case. You have the family together, children together, assets that you build over time together. But this is not a definition for Centrelink purposes. For Centrelink, the definition of living in a couple relationship is explained in Section 4 of Social Security Act 1991 that generally explains that two people are members of a couple if: number one, they provide financial support to each other and there are assets that they jointly owned. Number two, there is a joint family household arrangement, care for children and share of housework. Number three, they present themselves to friends and acquaintances as a couple. Number four, there is a sexual relationship between the two people. Number five, there is a commitment of two people to each other. You don't have to comply with all those points. What does it mean in plain English? Basically, it means that if you are in a healthy relationship with another person, you live together, support each other, all your friends see you as a couple, you share your life expenses, you care for your children together, then for Centrelink purposes, you are members of a couple and you will be treated as a couple and all your benefits will be calculated as such. If, however, you live with another person under the same roof, but your life are really separate lives, each person has his or her own budget, separate expenses, you don't share your income, your assets, you don't really share your life together. You have separate friends, you see your kids on different occasions, then for Centrelink purposes, you will be treated as singles. And you don't have to be divorced. So from the legal standpoint, you are a couple. But for Centrelink, you are singles. Hence, your Social Security benefits will be calculated as per single person. Well, before you jump out of your skin and start screaming, I'm going to get myself one of those benefits. I'm married, but I can pretend to be separated. After all, we still live under the same roof. Who would really know what happens between us? Well, please be very, very careful and don't do that. Centrelink office is not stupid. This is the close to help those who cannot afford to live separately. This very special Centrelink treatment is for those people who are not happy together as a couple and no longer able to live in an actual relationship, but often due to financial reasons unable to live separately. Centrelink does check the validity of your claim. They can send their inspectors to visit your home anytime to see what steps have been taken to allow for separate living in a house for two singles. For example, do you have separate bedrooms and bathrooms? What about food? Is that separated in your fridge? Do you still have joint bank accounts or any other joint assets outside of the family home? What about your ongoing bills? How is the budget separated? Are you visiting kids together or there is a separate time schedule? What about your friends? How do they see you? Centrelink also speaks to your professional advisors, such as your family lawyer, your accountant, financial planner, doctor. It is very easy to discover if your claim to be single and no longer a member of a couple is legitimate or not. There have been many cases in court to prove Centrelink's decision wrong. Sometimes people can win, oftentimes they lose the case. The bottom line is that if you are separated but still have to live under the same roof, you can apply to Centrelink. And if your claim is legitimate, you will receive a benefit based on the single person rate rather than a member of a couple, which is a much higher rate of pension. I hope you found this video interesting, even if you knew a little bit about this option. If so, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel not to miss my future videos and all my updates. For more age pension information and retirement articles, please visit my website about retirement.com.au and then sign up to my newsletter not to miss any of my weekly updates to keep you up to date with all financial changes in Australia. If you need, however, solid, straightforward financial and retirement advice, just book a consultation meeting through my website for the time that suits you. And now I invite you to watch some of those very special videos about age pension. The very first link is to the mentioned playlist where you can binge watch all the videos about age pension, starting with the most popular 9 ways to hide money from Centrelink age pension. And the second recommendation is last week's video, How Safe Are Australian Banks, which was created based on feedback I received from many people worrying about the state of the economy after collapses of so many banks outside of Australia. I will speak with you in my next video. Bye!